Hey guys, good evening. I hope all of you are having a very wonderful day. So this is me, Siva Prasad, and as you know, I am bringing this current affairs series to you guys, right? So we have already done a couple of sessions, and in the previous session, you might have heard me discuss about the magnetic connection and reconnection between the Earth's magnetic field and the Sun's magnetic field. Then we might have also talked about bear sheet. I told you about tardigrades and a recent experiment that we are trying to conduct on the surface of the moon. Right, this is what we have discussed in the previous classes. So I'm going to take some more current affairs related to the events of 2019 in the field of science and technology. So the course is being presented by me, Siva Prasad. I teach live on the Unacademy platform. All the links related to my courses are available in the description box below. So make sure that you are checking all of them out. Alright, before starting, as I told you, it's our vision at Unacademy to make the learning experience as easy and as fun as possible. So along the same lines, we have come up with this initiative called as Unacademy Combat, right? This is the most competitive and gamified UPSC civil services battle. This is where you get to compete with thousands of other learners like you, right? You get to compete with thousands of learners like you in this biggest fortnightly competition. This is for UPSC civil services examination. The first one was conducted on December 6th. The next one is going to be conducted after one fortnight that is going to be on 20th of December 2020. The time for this competition is 11 a.m. Make sure you are checking this out. Alright, this is completely free of cost. It is applicable, it is open to all the students across the country. So what is special about this particular competition is that there are a lot of challenging questions. These are curated by some of the best educators on the Unacademy platform. This is super fast, this is fun, and there is this real-time ranking where you can see the leaderboards, and as I told you, you can rank yourself against the others, right? You get an opportunity to compete with the best of the aspirants in this particular field, and following all these tests, all these combats, you will be provided with a detailed video solution. This session will be conducted by one of the top educators of Unacademy. Alright, so this is an opportunity for you to compete, to crack the exam, and to conquer the same. Right, so you will get a score. There's also negative markings, etc. So you will be able to understand your own speed and accuracy where you need to improve upon. Right, there's a leaderboard, so all of you should aspire to be a part of the leaderboard so that you serve as a motivation for the other aspirants, and the other aspirants also, they can look at the people in the leaderboard and get motivated to improve upon their rankings further. Right, there are these ratings also. There are a lot of awards that you can also claim, right? You get these badges of honor, etc., that you get to display to the others. All right, so if you look at the contest format, so there are going to be 45 questions. This is a 45-minute challenge, so there are going to be 60 questions, and as I told you, there are going to be 13 combats. This is going to be a fortnightly competition, so this is a contest that will be held every alternate Sundays. All right, there is going to be relative scoring, and you are going to be tested on 6 different sections. All right, so what makes this entire competition more fun is you get to win a lot of amazing prizes. This is what got me also very excited, right? Apart from learning, it's an opportunity to win a lot of prizes, right? So the first ranker will get this Apple MacBook Air, second will get this Apple iPad mini, and the third ranker will get Apple AirPods, and top 100 rankers will also be given ₹1,000 worth Amazon vouchers. All right, so I hope you are as excited and as enthusiastic for these UPSC combats as I am, right? So enroll in this UPSC combat, right? All you have to do is to participate in this combat test, you have to download the Unacademy learning app, you have to sign up using your email ID, etc. Right, so unlocking this, as I told you, this is completely a free feature, free contest. You just have to use a referral code, and you can use mine, that is AKMSIVA. All right, so let's start with where we left off yesterday. So let's talk about something called as coprolite. It was in the news. The reason why I'm discussing this is because something called as Denisovin was asked in the previous year paper. Take in 2017 prelims examination, there's something called as Denisovin. Okay, so along the same lines, they could ask you what is this coprolite. Coprolite is basically a fossilized feces of animals that might have lived millions of years. Okay, so these are feces, these are excreta of the animals. Okay, these have gotten fossilized. They have become fossils over the period of time. Okay, these are feces, fossilized feces of animals that might have lived on the planet millions and millions of years ago. Okay, so that is what is coprolite. So they might ask you one word answer. So this is something exclusively with respect to your prelims you might be asked. Okay, in a lot of test series also, question around coprolite has been asked. All right, why was it in the news? Because the scientists, they found the oldest parasite's DNA. All right, I hope you know what is a parasite, that is dependent on its host for its survival. ठीक है. So we were able to found the oldest of the parasite, ठीक है, उसका DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid. Remember, this contains all the genetic information, ठीक है. This is contain the DNA. We were able to catch hold of the DNA of the oldest parasite on the surface of the earth, ठीक है. That's what we were able to capture it in the form of a coprolite of a prehistoric puma in Argentina. Okay, right, this is coprolite, just try to remember that. Along the same lines, let's discuss about something else that was in the news. This was the Perseid meteor shower. Alright, there's this Perseid meteor shower. This occurs every year from July 23rd to August 22. You don't have to really remember these dates. Okay, if you're preparing for state civil services, etc., maybe they might ask you these, these tiny, minute details. But as far as UPSC civil services is concerned, they're not concerned with all of this. Okay, so that's what you don't have to remember August 12 to dawn, August 13, etc. These information is trivial to you. Just remember Perseid meteor shower. Remember, this is an annual event. It occurs every single year. Okay, meteors, as you know, these occur when Earth rushes towards a stream of dust and debris that are left behind by a passing comet. Okay, I hope you understand what is a comet, right? Comets are also called as dirty icy balls. These comets are also revolving around the sun. Okay, these are usually made of dust and ice. Okay, these are also revolving around the sun only. Some of them have a very, very long periodicity, right? They take thousands of years, and some of them take hundreds of years to revolve around the sun. Okay, so when these comets are passing, right, they leave behind a stream of dust and debris. So when this dust and debris comes in contact with our atmosphere, okay, this creates a lot of friction, etc. This creates some sparks. This creates some streaks in the sky. That is what we see as these meteors. Okay, that's what. See, meteors, they occur when Earth rushes through a stream of dust and debris that is left behind by a comet. In case of this Perseids, there's this comet called as Swift-Tuttle comet. Okay, this is responsible for this Perseid meteor shower. So when the bits, they strike Earth's upper atmosphere, friction with the air causes such particles to heat up and they end up burning. We see the result as a meteor. Okay, what am I trying to say? Let me just explain this to you. This is Earth. Alright. Let us say this is the atmosphere of the Earth. Alright. This is a comet. It is passing like this. It has left behind a lot of dust, etc. Alright. So this is coming in contact with the Earth's atmosphere. This is creating friction over here. Because of friction, it is getting heated up. Because these dust particles are getting heated up, they ultimately end up getting burnt also. Okay. So this burning thing, this burnt up dust particles, etc., this is what we are getting to see as a meteor or as a meteor shower. Okay. This is what is appearing in the sky as bright objects. Okay. The Perseid meteor shower, as I told you, it's caused by this comet. The comet I'm talking about over here is the Swift-Tuttle comet. Okay, just try to remember the name. This is an annual event. The Perseid shower, it is named for the constellation Perseus, right? You might have heard about the Perseus, right? You might have seen the movie also, right? Anyway, so it is basically a radiant. Radiant is the point of origin of a meteor shower. Okay, this can be viewed from the northern hemisphere. Alright, this is the Perseid meteor shower. This was in the news in the time of July. That is the reason this has been added as a part of your current affairs. Okay, in this process, we have also tried to understand what is the cause of these meteor showers. Alright, okay. Along the same lines, let's discuss some other event that was in the news. That is the space situational awareness. Alright, ISRO is laying foundation for this SSA, space situational awareness, in Bangalore. Right, from the name itself, you can pretty much guess what this particular functionality is going to be. The idea is to protect high-valued space assets. Okay. So as you know, ISRO is launching a lot of assets into space. For example, communication satellites, remote sensing satellites. The communication satellites are used not by the civilians, but also they are being used for GPS-related services for the firing of missiles. It is also being used for restricted services by the army, armed forces, etc. Right. These are all high-valued space assets. Millions and millions have been invested in creating these assets. They are also of utmost importance for strategic, strategic development of the country, for our, national security, etc. So these high-valued assets, they have to be protected from space debris. Right? Space debris means there are a lot of junk, space junk that are floating around. These could be asteroids, comets, stones, etc. Other than that, remember, with so many satellites being launched, some of these satellites, they have broken down. Their own debris are also floating around. Okay? Their own junk are also floating around in the outer space. Right? So our satellites have to be protected. Our space assets have to be protected from such space debris. Okay? From close approaches, and from collisions. Okay? So with respect to that, we are creating something called as space situational awareness. This will protect our space assets from inactive satellites. Alright, some satellites, they are inactive, they are no longer in use, but they are still floating around in the orbit. So they could be a threat to our active satellites. There are some near-Earth asteroids. Asteroids are just basically rock materials that have failed to aggregate as planets. Pieces of orbiting objects. There could be other objects, stones or ice particles or whatever. They are orbiting. Space weather related events, like maybe through solar flares, some particles are getting ejected, coronal mass ejections. These are also a threat to our space assets. So we have to try to protect our space assets from all such kind of influences. Take care. For that only we have developed something called as space situational awareness. Okay. This would assimilate the tracking data of inactive satellites from indigenous observation facilities and generate useful information from bare observations through analysis. Alright, so you are like 24/7 looking into the sky. You are trying to perceive what our satellites, what are the satellites that are inactive, what kind of threat are they posing to our active satellites, etc. So you are observing the space. You are trying to have a notion of all the debris, etc. that is present, and you are carrying out analysis, trying to do a threat analysis, whether these debris, etc. that are floating around in the outer space, are they a threat to our satellites? Okay, this is called as space situational awareness. All right. So along the same lines, we will be discussing in the future. There is something I would like to discuss with you. It is called as Kessler syndrome. Okay. In the next class, I will discuss what is this Kessler syndrome. But for now, Kessler syndrome. Yes, you can take it down as a homework. All right. You can try to find out on your own what exactly is this Kessler syndrome. I'm going to give you a small hint. The hint is that it is associated with space debris. Okay. Increasing space debris, because remember, so many satellites. Remember, ISRO alone in a single go had launched close to 104 satellites like this. Other than ISRO, there are so many space agencies. Recently, even Bangladesh also had launched an indigenous satellite of its own. So many satellites are now being present in the lower Earth orbit, etc. So it is responsible for generating a lot of space debris. We are sort of polluting these lower Earth orbits, etc. Right? So we are generating a lot of space debris. One concept associated with that is called as Kessler syndrome. As I told you, this is your homework. You can try to find out what exactly this is, and you can, in your own words, try to mention it in the comment section below. All right. In the next section, I will discuss what this Kessler syndrome is with you guys. All right. Let's take up another news item that was in the news. Another item that was in the news. It is the iron ion batteries. All right. So you might have heard nickel cadmium batteries, lithium ion batteries. Along the same lines, we have something new. It is called as iron ion batteries. Okay, nickel cadmium battery. Okay, like this. Or you might have seen lithium ion batteries, right? These are batteries that you might be familiar with. So recently, IIT Madras, they have first time fabricated a rechargeable iron ion battery using mild steel as an anode. Take this much detail you might not remember. What is special is we have created an iron ion battery. This is rechargeable. The advantage is that it is cost effective. Cost effective means in whatever items you are using. Remember, for example, from smartphones to laptops, everywhere you are using some sort of battery, right? So the device ultimately could be cheaper if your battery has become cheaper. The device could be smaller if your battery has become smaller. So यहाँ पे we are saying it is cost effective, right? So that's what the advantage is. It is cost effective. It is going to make your products cheaper ultimately. Energy efficient, right? It is going to efficiently utilize the energy. It is capable of storing high amounts of energy. It is rechargeable. It is safer with respect to usage and for the environment as well. All right. Why is this important for India? Why is iron ion battery something we are looking up to? Importance for India. If you see, India lacks good amount of lithium reserves. India के पास इतने अच्छे lithium reserves नहीं है. We are dependent on imports and other countries for lithium reserves, right? So that is what. Then India shifted towards using electrical vehicles. We are trying to move towards this FAME India scheme, etc. We are trying to promote the usage of electric vehicles. We want to go more and more electric. Remember, we have made a lot of commitments under the INDCs during the Paris Climate Agreement. Otherwise, also we are also committed to going green. One such initiative is to shift from all these fossil fuel-based vehicles to electric vehicles. So, if we need electric vehicles, battery is going to be a huge concern for us. So if we don't have good amount of reserves of lithium, it will make us more and more depend on imports in other countries, right? This could result in, these vehicles become costlier. Indigenous manufacturers, it will be a huge challenge. So that is the reason for helping India shift towards using electrical vehicles. This could be of great concern. All right, this could be of great strategic importance. Why iron? The redox potential of iron ion is higher than that of lithium ion. Take care, first of all, is the redox potential. This is higher for iron. and the radius of Fe2 plus ions is nearly the same as that of lithium ions. Okay, so this is the reason we chose iron. Iron is more stable during the charging process, and therefore it prevents short circuiting of the battery. See, it is safer. Why? Because there is no scope for short circuiting of the batteries. Why? Because it is far more stabler during the charging process as well. Okay, so this is what. Remember, just try to remember this. The redox potential. This is something you will pick up from reading your NCRTs. Even if you don't know them, you don't have to get to know all these things in detail. Just have a familiar idea as to why iron has been used, because redox potential of iron ion is higher than that of lithium ion. Second thing is the Fe2 plus ions. Okay, iron ion, if you compare it with the lithium ions, you will see both of them have pretty much the same. Okay, so that is what. This is your concept related to iron batteries. With respect to mains examination, you can give this as a suggestion. This is of strategic importance to the country to move towards more green economy, etc. Take it like this, you are supposed to expand your answer and present them in the mains examination. Alright, so we will stop here for now. In the next class, in the next session that will be uploaded, I will be coming up with another 15-minute session, a short session. I'll be taking up other items that have been in the news in the recent past. Alright, so as I told you, with respect to your civil services examination preparation, as far as science and tech is concerned, you can expect around 11 to 15 questions. And these questions, and I'm not considering the environment questions. Environment, you get 30 plus questions. That's a separate matter. 11 to 15 questions based on science and technology are coming. And usually you see that these questions are usually around last 2 years of current affairs. Sometimes even previous year questions, from long ago are also being asked. Usually dominant number of questions are from the last 2 years. Alright, so that is the reason if you are appearing in the May 2021 examinations. So whatever happened from May 2019 is important for your preparation for 2021. Alright, whenever you are appearing, if it is 2022, you can work out. Alright, 2 years of current affairs with respect to science and technology is important. Alright, so that is the reason I'm doing an entire roundup of the year of 2020, and some news articles from the late 2019 will also be covered as a part of these sessions. Alright, so this is all for today. I will see you guys at the same time in tomorrow's class. Bye bye, have a good day.